live started.
Okay, sir.
You can start.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Audible sound. Okay. Check. Start.
Okay, sir. Hello, good evening everyone. Am I audible? Yes, good evening. Yes, Arvind, good evening. Am I audible to everyone? Good evening. Yes, Mahalakshmi, yes. Good evening everybody. Am I audible? Yes. Good evening everybody. Am I audible to everyone? Please respond. Am I audible? Yes, so yes, good evening. Yes. Good evening everybody. Lokesh, good evening. Prasanna, good evening. Yes. Good evening everybody. Yes. So welcome to 30 days Python masterclass program. So what we are going to cover in this 30 days? Yes. Good evening everybody. Am I audible to everyone? Yes. So firstly we will be discussing the basics of Python. So I'll just give you an introduction to this language. What are all the basic tools and syntaxes of this language? And then I'll be discussing with you about various dictionaries. So what are the different types of data structures, date and time module and other things. And we will move on to different types of libraries. Yes, I am audible to everyone, right? Yes. Good evening everyone. And then we will move to different types of libraries. So what is the use of Pandas library? Yes, what is the use of Numpy library? Different types of libraries and various types of operations. I am going to cover the different functionalities of Python. And finally we will have 10 projects discussion. So all these are the different types of projects we are going to discuss in this 30 days. Stock market price prediction with various machine learning techniques. People's behavior analysis in chat message using NLP. And Python for gaming. Yes. Voice is clear, right? Yeah. So once you attend, so you will be getting a overview of all these projects. So what are the different types of projects I am going to cover in this 30 days. Last 10 days you will discuss, I will be discussing with you about the different types of projects. So people's behavior analysis in chat message using NLP and the gaming module. What are all the different types of gaming modules that are available in Python and chatbot creation. So all these are the different types of projects we are going to discuss. So diamond price prediction, book recommendation system, image classification, Titanic survival and blockchain. So all these are the different types of projects we are going to cover in this 30 days. So what you are going to get from this 30 days? Once you attend this 30 days Python masterclass program, so you'll be learning the different concepts. So what is this language? What are all the different types of library functions? You'll become a master in Python and you'll be getting a free webinar certificate. So once you attend this, once you invest 45 minutes every day for 30 days, so you'll be getting a free webinar participation certificate. Alright. So during the live class, the organizer will post the Google form link. So you have to submit your attendance on daily basis. So once you post your attendance for 25 days, so you'll be getting a free masterclass participation certificate. Is that clear? So attendance is mandatory. Yeah. Good evening everybody. Yes. Rusum, good evening. Bhavna, good evening. Yes. Good evening everybody. Yes. Harshini, good evening. Hello. Yes. Mastan, good evening. Yes. Ramya, yes. Good evening everybody. So you will be getting, so I will post the attendance link and you have to mark your attendance and after 25 days you will be getting a free webinar certificate. Alright. So if you are interested, you can just convert it to Python internship program. So you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python internship. So PYMC, this is the coupon code. Alright. So once you register for the internship, so you'll be getting the PPTs, so whatever recorded videos, every day whatever I am discussing, and the lecture notes, so IPYNB files, whatever I am discussing, so you'll be getting access to everything. So whatever we are discussing every day. Alright. So I'll just give you how to fill the attendance form. So this is the attendance form link. So you have to fill in the required email address. So for this 30 days, you have to use the same email ID. So whatever email ID you are using the first day, so you should use the same one on the last day. So you have to give in the required email ID and you have to choose. So whatever is the required question, salutation and the name. So all these you should use only capital letters to fill your names. So all these details, you should provide the correct details in order to get the required attendance, and the email ID, mobile number, WhatsApp number, so which department you belong to, institute or organization, country, state, designation, alright, so internship program. So you please fill in the details correctly in order to get the attendance. Clear? So what we are going to do in this 30 days? Alright. WhatsApp group, yes, I will ask regarding this. Lecture notes, if you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python Masterclass program. PYMC, this is the coupon code. So if you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python Masterclass program. Everything is clear. So what we are going to see in this 30 days? Alright, WhatsApp group is full. Yes, I will ask regarding this. So basically, I am just going to start with the basics of Python. So what do you mean by a program? So basically, a program is nothing but a set of software instructions which is going to perform some specific task. Clear? So everything is programming. So similar to human beings, we are giving some instructions and human beings, they are going to perform some actions. Similarly, what do you mean by a program? A program is nothing but a set of software instructions which is going to perform some specific task in order to get the desired result. This is what is called as a program. Clear? For example, I want to design some web application. So everything is automated. So the world is evolving, website development. So everything is programming. So we are instructing the machines similar to how human beings, if you are given some instructions, how we are going to perform some actions. Similarly, we are going to instruct the computer. So what do you mean by a program? A program is nothing but a set of instructions given to the computer which is going to perform some specific task. Say for example, website development or some gaming software. So whatever I am going to develop. So I am going to give some instructions to the computer and they are going to perform some specific task. So this is what is called as a program. Clear? Attendance link will be posted soon. Alright. So there are different types of programming languages. So basically we have two different types of programming language. One is called as a high level language and one more is called as a low level language. So in case of programming languages, we have two different types of programming languages. One is called as a high level language and one more is called as a low level language. So what are all the different types of high level languages? So we have Python, C, C++, Perl, Java. So all these are different types of high level languages. And what are all the different types of low level languages? We have machine language and assembly language. So these two are the different types of low level languages. So basically for doing any type of predictive analytics, so Python is the most popularly used language in today's world. So for doing any type of predictive analytics, data science, data analytics or some statistical analysis, machine learning task. So all this is developed using Python language. So it is why we are going for Python. So it is easier to understand. The syntax of Python is simpler when compared to Java or other types of languages. So all this comes under high level languages. So Java. So basically Java language, for doing any kind of website development, we are going for Java language. Clear? So for example, online e-commerce site. So online trading, everything is becoming online. So online trading, buying and selling is growing at a very, very fast rate. So everything is developed using Java language. Website development. So online e-commerce website, online movie sites or some other sites. So Netflix, so we have many movie sites. So everything is developed. For website development, we can go for Java language. And Python for predictive analytics. Say for example, I want to predict some weather conditions, whatever may be the real world problems. So in medical industry, it can be applied. If a person is affected by a disease, so I want to predict whether a person is affected based on the symptoms given. So how a doctor is going to recognize. Similarly, I am going to train the machines. So whether a person is affected by a disease or he is not affected by a disease. So for predictive analytics, Python is the most popularly used language. And we have two different types of low-level languages, that is machine language and assembly language. So what is the use of this assembly language? For microcontroller programming, we can go for assembly language. And we have two kinds of programming processes. So one is called as an interpreter and one more is called as a compiler. So these two are the different kinds of programming processes. One is called as an interpreter and one more is called as a compiler. So what do you mean by an interpreter? So whenever we are going to give some instructions, how the machines they are going to process the instructions and we are going to get the relevant results. So we have the process. We have two different types of programming processes. One is called as an interpreter and one more is called as a compiler. So what are all the different modules that are present in an interpreter? So basically we have an input module, we have an output module and working mechanism. So how does an interpreter works? And the speed of an interpreter, the memory capacity, so how much memory it occupies, and errors and error detection. So all these are the different modules or components that are present in an interpreter. So what is the input? So it takes a single line of code. So whatever instructions, so as I was telling you, right, a program is nothing but a set of instructions which is used to perform some specific task. So I'm going to instruct the computers and they are going to perform some specific task. So what do you mean by it takes a single, in case of interpreter, it takes a single line of code or instruction at a time. Clear? And output, so it does not produce any intermediate object code. So it is going to execute it is going to take interpreter during runtime, each and every line of code it is going to take and it is going to produce the relevant results. And how does it work? So both the compilation and execution, they take place at the same time, parallel computation. And speed, it is slower. So when compared to compilers, the interpreters are slower. And memory capacity, so since it does not produce any intermediate object code, so it is going to check the entire code and it is going to give me the relevant results. It requires less memory when compared to compilers. And errors, so it is going to display the errors of each line one by one. So it is going to execute each and every line and it is going to display the relevant errors. And errors can be detected easily in case of interpreters when compared to compilers. So clear, what are all the two different types of programming processes? So how a program is being processed by the machines. How the machines, they are going to interpret a program and they are going to give the relevant results. So all these are the different types of modules that are present in an interpreter. So it contains an input module. So it contains an output module. So what does the input module do? It takes each and every line of code, single line of code or instruction at a time, one by one. So single line of code, each and every line it is going to execute and it is going to give me the relevant results. And it does not produce any intermediate object code. So it is going to execute the entire program and we are going to get the entire result. And parallel computation, both compilation and execution, they take place at the same time. They take place simultaneously. So clear, what are all the different types of modules and how the interpreter works? So it requires less memory. Since it does not produce any intermediate object code, the memory capacity, it requires less memory requirements when compared to the compiler. So you are clear how does an interpreter works? And compiler, it contains the same modules as that of an interpreter. So what are all the different types of modules that are present in an interpreter? A compiler contains similar modules. So it contains an input module, how the program is being processed by the machines. So once we are going to develop a program, say for example for website development we are going for some IDEs. So once I write the program, I have to compile the program. So I have to convert the source code to bytecode, that is machine code or object code or whatever you call. So it contains an input. So what are all the different units or modules that are present in a compiler? So it contains an input module or input component and output module. Working mechanism. So how does a compiler work and the speed of a compiler? So in case of inputs, so it is going to take the entire program at a time. So what is the difference between a compiler and an interpreter? An interpreter, it interprets. So it is going to take each and every line of code and it is going to give me the relevant results. Whereas in case of compilers, it takes an entire program. So it compiles the whatever I am writing, whatever development I am doing, it compiles the entire program and we are going to get the relevant results. And in case of compiler, it generates some intermediate object code. So in case of interpreter, it does not generate any intermediate object code. Whereas in case of compilers, it generates some intermediate object code. And compilation is done before execution. So in case of compilers, the compilation is done before execution. Clear? So all these are the major differences between an interpreter and a compiler. And the speed of a compiler is faster. So since it generates intermediate object code, it is faster when compared to interpreter. But it requires more memory since it generates intermediate object code. And in case of errors, so it is going to compile the entire program. So it is going to check for proper syntax. So whatever program we are developing, it is going to check for proper syntax and it is going to display all the errors at the same time. And error detection is difficult in compilers when compared to interpreters. So clear with this, what do you mean by an interpreter and what do you mean by a compiler? So whatever program, whatever may be the programming language, so we can go for Python or we can go for Java or whatever may be the programming language we are using. So how the programs, so the development we are doing, how it is being processed by the machines. So it is done with the help of an interpreter and a compiler. So how it is going to interpret and compile and we are going to get some final outputs. So what are the different modules or blocks that are present in an interpreter? So all these are the different types of modules or blocks that are present in an interpreter. So it contains a source code. So whatever is the source code I am having, it contains a source code module. And from the source code, it is given to an interpreter. So it interprets the code. So line by line it executes. Whatever is the type of code, line by line it executes. It checks for errors during runtime. So it is given to the interpreter unit. And finally the output is displayed at the output unit. So clear what are all the different units that are present in an interpreter. So how the interpreter interprets a program. So from the word you can just understand what do you mean by an interpreter. So it interprets each and every line of code and we are going to get the final output. And what are the different modules that are present in a compiler. So it contains the source code module. So from the source code, it is given to the compiler module. So whatever is the module, it is given to the compiler module. And then the compiler converts the source code into the object code, corresponding object code. And it is given to the executor. Finally, we are going to get the final output at the monitor. So all these are the different modules or units present in a compiler. So whatever is the programming language, the instructions we are giving to the machines, so how it is being executed, how it goes through different blocks. So first module is the source code module, first block. So from the source code, whatever is the source code I am having, it is given to the compiler module, compiler unit. So it compiles the program, it checks for any type of errors, if there are any errors present in the program. After that, it is given, the source code is converted to the object code, the corresponding object code. And it is given to the executor module. And finally, the output is displayed at the monitor. So clear what do you mean by an interpreter and what do you mean by a compiler. So all these are the different types of programming processes. So whatever is the program we are typing, whatever instructions we are giving to the machines, how it is being processed by the machines and we are going to get the relevant output. So basically today I am going to discuss with you about Python language. So it is a type of high-level programming language. So basically we have different types of programming languages. We have high-level language and we have low-level language. So Python comes under high-level programming language. So why we are going for Python? We have different types of languages. We have C language, C++, Java. So why we are going for Python? So it is faster to learn. So whatever language we are using, it is faster to learn and applications can be developed at a faster rate when compared to other languages. So whatever maybe so as I was telling you, right, the world is evolving around data. So everywhere automation is happening. So what are all the different things the human beings are doing? We are trying the machines, they are going to act like human beings. So what is machine learning or artificial intelligence or data science? So why all these technologies are growing at a very, very fast rate? So we are trying to automate. So as I was telling you, right, so many online websites are being developed. So everything is becoming online. So e-banking, online websites, that is e-commerce sites. So wherever we have online transactions, a huge volume of data is being generated. So we need to collect the data, we need to analyze the data for data analysis, and we are going to make some important predictions. So why we are choosing, why this Python language is becoming very, very popular in today's world? So the syntax is simpler when compared to other languages. The syntax is simpler and applications can be developed at a faster rate using Python. Whatever may be the application, complex data processing. So as I was telling you, right, a huge volume, big data. So what do you mean by all these? So what we are trying to do here? A huge volume of data is being generated in a variety of sectors in whichever fields we go. So we are going to collect the data, we are going to analyze. So for data analysis and predictions, Python is the most popularly used language. And it can run on any platform. So whatever may be the platform, it can run on any platform. So it is platform independent. It can run on Windows operating system, it can run on Linux, or whatever may be the operating system, it is available in many platforms. And any complex logic, whatever may be the complexity of the problem. So as I was telling you, right, with very few lines of code, we can implement any types. A large volume of data can be processed. Complex logic. See, rainfall prediction, meteorological people, they are having a tough time. So atmospheric, based on various atmospheric parameters, they are trying to predict whether it is going to be a rainy day or a sunny day. So whatever may be the complexity of the problem, if you want to solve any type of real world problems, we can apply any type of machine learning techniques. So with very few lines of code, we are going to achieve the desired results. So clear? So why we are going Python? Why Python is becoming very, very popular? So why we are choosing this language? We can go for any other type of languages. Using C, we can do some predictive analytics. So what makes this language a very powerful language? So next I'm going to discuss with you about the history of Python. So who developed this language? So basically it was developed by Guido von Rossum. So he is the person who developed this language. So it was developed in the year 1989 at National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science. So he is the person who developed this language. So this language was developed by Guido von Rossum in the year 1989 at National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science in Netherlands. So why we should use Python? So what makes this language a very powerful one? So what are all the different types of applications that can be performed using this Python language? Whichever sector you go. So as I was telling you, right, so why data science or data analytics or artificial intelligence, all this is becoming a very, very popular one. In whichever sector we need to apply, say for medical diagnosis, so all these, so data processing, so whatever may be the volume of data, so a huge transactions, every day the amount of transactions is keep on increasing. A huge volume of data is being generated. So one important thing is that I need to collect the data. So I need to analyze the data and I am going to make some important predictions. So based on the pattern hidden inside the data. So how a doctor is going to diagnose a disease. So based on the pattern, symptoms. For example, corona disease, a virus is spreading at a very, very fast rate. So based on the symptoms, he is going to predict the disease, whether a person is affected by a disease or he is not affected by a disease. So whatever may be the complexity of my problem. So first I need to look at the type of problem. So whatever may be the problem I am having in hand, so it can process a huge volume of data and it is going to give me the desired prediction results. So the MDP library, modular toolkit for data processing, so it is developed in Python. So it can be used for complex data processing algorithms. So whatever may be the complexity of this task, so we can go for MDP library, modular toolkit for data processing library. Clear? So for complexity, so for complex data processing tasks, so I need to collect the data, I need to process the data. So data processing. So pre-processing, and if there are any null values, clean the data, and then I'm going to make some important predictions. Signal processing applications. So what do you mean by, as I was telling you, right, in medical science, medical industry is growing at a very, very fast rate. So neuroscience analysis. So I want to analyze some neural images. I want to predict some sort of disease, signal processing tasks. So based on the image, I want to classify. So whether a person is affected by a disease, neurosignal analysis, signal processing applications. So I can employ some type of supervised machine learning algorithms or neural network models to analyze the pattern. And it is going to make some important predictions. So in medical sectors, so how a doctor is going to predict a disease. Similarly, we are going to train the machine learning models. So with the help of symptoms. So once the model is trained, it is going to give me the relevant prediction results. So neuroscience data analysis. So in signal processing tasks, so Python language plays a very, very important role. And in gaming software, so many type of games. The games are popular among the kids. So many type of games, say they are playing some sort of adventurous games, detective games. So whatever may be the type of games. So Pygame module, game making software. So it can be developed using Python language. So Pygame, it is one of the powerful modules designed for writing games. So it is what makes this language a very attractive language. So right from young people to older people, it is attracting a wide range of people. So irrespective of ages. So what are all in whichever domains. So it is used in medical domain, it is used in gaming sector, and it is used in movie creation tool. So as I was telling you, right, everything is becoming online. So many Maya Python is a tool for movie creation, and Python can be used for movie creation. So if you want to create some animated movies or whatever may be the type of movies. So people are opting for. So all this, so there are separate modules available in Python. So it can be applied in movie creation sites. And musical software. So if I want to analyze the quality of music, so what type of music is being played, so whether it is analog music or digital music, or I want to understand the meaning of music. So from the musical notations, I want to analyze. So what type of music, so whether it is soothing to hear or it is not. So all this can be developed using Python language. Python has got a greater contribution in musical software, musical notation analysis, audio analysis. So whatever type of analysis I want to perform. So I want to analyze some music signal, and I want to analyze the quality of music. So what type of music is being played. So all these are the different applications of Python programming language. So what makes this language a very powerful one? So data science. So if you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python programming masterclass. So PYMC, this is the coupon code. So the internship offer is going to end by 4th March. So once you register for internship, you will be getting access to the PPTs, the lecture notes, the recordings, so the IPYNB files, so how the projects, whatever I am discussing, so you can get access to everything. So please hurry up, the internship offer is going to end soon. So it ends by 4th March. If you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python programming masterclass. So PYMC, this is the coupon code. So once you register for the masterclass, you will be getting access to the PPTs, the recordings, the lecture notes, so how the projects are being developed. So whatever IPYNB files I am discussing, so you will be getting access to everything. Alright, so till this part, whatever I am discussing, is this clear? Attendance link they will be providing. So till this part, whatever I am discussing, is this clear? Any doubts in the topics? Everything is clear. So what are all the different applications of Python? So it is used in signal processing task, it is used in game making software, and in movie creation. So Maya Python, it is a movie creation tool. It can be developed using the Python language. And musical software. So if I want to analyze the quality of music, so what type of music is being played, whether it is analog or digital. Clear? So what type of music is being played? So you can go for, if I want to analyze the quality, so if I want to find the meaning of music, so musical notation analysis, for all these things you can go for Python language. and it is used in website development framework. So Django is a very powerful website development framework. So it is written in Python language. So if I want to integrate with the front end, so whatever predictive analytics I am doing, if I want to integrate with the front end, I can go for Django, website development framework. So all this is developed using the Python language. And what is the difference? So Python 3 is the latest version. So what is the difference between the Python 2 and Python 3? So Python 2 is the previous version. So other things are developed using Python 2 and Python 3 is the present version. So it was released in the year 2008. So still, why we are using Python 2? It contains some essential libraries. So as I was telling you, right, first we need to look at the type of problem. So what type of problem we are going to solve? Based on that, we have to choose the required versions of Python. So Python 2 contains some essential libraries which Python 3 doesn't have. Clear? So you can install Anaconda Navigator. So this is that is one distribution. It is an open source distribution that is available. So you can just go to Google and you can just type Anaconda Navigator. Just go to Google. Just type Anaconda Navigator. So download is there, right? So once you click Anaconda Navigator, there is an individual version option is there. So you can just download, there is a download button. So you can just download Anaconda Navigator and you can start using this. So you have to install this Anaconda Navigator. Just double click, follow the instructions, dialog boxes, whatever it comes. And finally you can download and you can use Anaconda Navigator. Clear? PPTs, if you are interested, Lalita, so you can go to, that is Google, you can just type Google, there is Anaconda Navigator download option. So you can go to this first option, individual edition is there, right? So once you click, there is a download button. So you will be downloading, I have already downloaded. So I am just showing you, just click the download button. You can just download Anaconda Navigator and just follow the steps. So it will be showing some dialog boxes. Just follow the steps and you click the finish button. Clear? So how you have to download this Anaconda Navigator. Alright. So once you have downloaded, just double click Anaconda. This is my home screen of Anaconda Navigator. So it contains home tab, it contains environments, learning and then community. So all these are the different options that are available in this Anaconda Navigator. So I have different options like Jupyter Lab, Data Lore, I have Jupyter Notebook. So once you click the launch button, a Jupyter Notebook, it will be launched like this. So you have documents, right? So this is my input. So you can go to new and then you have to go for Python 3 notebook. So whatever development you want to do, so you can do all these developments here. Clear? So whatever Python coding I want to do, so you can do. 1 minute, it is getting loaded. For example, I am just printing. So inside print, so I am just giving some message. Hello everyone. So you click the run button. So whatever you print, so this is called as the code cell. So inside print statement within double quotes, whatever I am giving, so you are going to get the output just below the input. So if I type hello everyone, so you are going to get the output just below the input. It is like a command shell, interactive programming. For example, if I want to multiply some two numbers, so 2 into 8. So I am just multiplying two numbers. So if I multiply two numbers, I am going to get the output just below the input. Clear? Yes, I am going to, I am going to teach Anaconda Navigator. So for example, you can go to Google, you just type Anaconda Navigator download. So there is an individual version edition of Anaconda. So there is a download option. So once you click this download button, so you have to follow the instructions. So what are all the instructions they are giving? Then you can install. So just follow the instructions and you click the finish button. The Anaconda Navigator, it will be installed. And you can go to start. That is, you type Anaconda Navigator. and you will be getting this home screen. So all these are the different options that are available in Anaconda Navigator. So you have data lore, Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook. So we are going to use Jupyter Notebook for all our developments. So just click the launch button and you will be opening a Jupyter Notebook. So you can see here, this is my home screen. So I am going for a new Python 3 notebook. So this is an interactive programming. For example, if I want to display something, so inside print statement, I am giving hello everyone. So whatever I am typing within double quotes, I will be getting the output just below the input. Clear? Am I clear to everyone? Yes, how you have to install this? Clear? How to install? So you just go to Google, just type Anaconda Navigator download. Yeah, you can use PyCharm as well. So I was just discussing with you about what are all the different things. So how to install Anaconda Navigator and what are all the different things you can perform. So this is how a simple code logic, this is how it behaves. So whatever code I am taking, it is given to the interpreter and finally it interprets and it is given to the computer hardware. Clear? So what is the role of an interpreter? So during runtime it is going to interpret each and every line of code and we are going to get the relevant results. So it is going to interpret each and every line of code and we are going to get the relevant results. So what is the use of a compiler? It compiles the entire code, whereas interpreter, it interprets each and every line of code and we are going to get the relevant results. Clear? So whatever is the source code, it is stored with .py extension. So m.py extension, it is converted to the bytecode. So m.pyc, compiler, after compilation it is converted to the bytecode. So whatever code I am typing in Jupyter Notebook, it is stored with .py extension. So after this, it is converted, when I am giving to the compiler, it is converted to .pyc, compiled version, and we are giving to the PVM, Python virtual machine. So it is going to process and we are going to get the relevant results. Clear? So how does, this is how my execution model looks like. So whatever I am typing in Jupyter Notebook, so it is stored, the source code is stored with .py extension. So whatever I am typing, the source code, so while compiling, we have to compile the code, we have to check for errors, so syntax errors, whether my code works properly. So I am going to convert my source code to the corresponding bytecode. So it is stored with .pyc extension, that is compiled version, and finally it is given to PVM, Python virtual machine, and we are going to get the relevant results. Clear? So how does this work? So whatever code I am storing, how it is being converted to bytecode and how it is being executed. So whenever we are programming anything, we may get some sort of error. So whatever is the application we are doing, libraries. So when you have Anaconda Navigator, you will be getting access to all the libraries. Clear? So when you have Anaconda Navigator, Jupyter Notebook, there will be some inbuilt libraries. So if not, so I will pippus the package installer. So when I am discussing with the libraries, I will discuss with this in an elaborate manner. Alright. So what do you mean by debugging? So whenever you are typing any code in Python, so you may have you may get some different types of errors. So you may get some syntax errors, you may get some runtime errors, and you may get some semantic errors. So all these are the different types of errors. Clear? So if you are interested, if you want my notes, please register for Python internship program. Alright. So till this part, any doubts, whatever I am discussing, any doubts, everything is clear? So all these are the different types of errors. You have to check for syntax errors, you have to check for runtime errors, and you have to check for semantic errors. So all these are the different types of errors that occur while programming. So basically, what do you mean by a syntax error? So when I am doing some, for example, a looping statement, a for loop or an if loop. So I have to give the proper syntax, the rules I have to follow. So first I should initialize a variable and then I should check for some conditions and finally the incrementation part. So if I am going to give the improper syntax, I am going to get a syntax error. And what do you mean by a runtime error? So during runtime, for example, divide by 0 exception. So I am giving some illogical code, so it is going to throw some runtime error. And semantic error, so I have to check for proper semantics. So whenever I am building some bigger applications, as I was telling you, right, I am doing some predictive analytics. Say I want to analyze some climatic conditions. So based on different parameters, I am going to analyze the climatic conditions. So whenever I am developing some bigger applications, I need to check for proper ordering of code, semantics. So if there is some mismatch in the ordering of code, I am going to get some semantic error. Clear? For example, I want to predict the movies. So what type of movies the people are searching for, movie recommendation system. Or I want to predict, say, whether it is a genuine URL or a fake URL. So whatever applications I am developing, so there should be some order. Whenever I am going for bigger applications, if I am going to give some wrong semantics, so I have to follow some proper order. So if I am going to change the order of my code, the lines of my code, I am going to get some semantic errors. So I have to check. So I was discussing with you about two types of programming processes, right? So what is the use of a compiler and what is the use of an interpreter? So the role of a compiler is it needs to check for syntax errors. It needs to compile the code. So whatever I am typing, it is converted to the bytecode, machine readable form, and it is going to check for different types of errors. So it needs to check for syntax errors and runtime error. So if there is a divide by 0 exception, so I need to check for runtime error and semantic errors. Clear? I need to check for proper ordering of codes. So with this, I am just stopping today. So if you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python Programming Masterclass. Alright. So PYMC, this is the coupon code. So if you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python Programming Masterclass. PYMC, this is the coupon code. So once you register for the masterclass, you will be getting access to the IPYNB files, the lecture notes, the PPTs, how the projects are being developed. You will be gaining more practical knowledge. So please hurry up, the internship offer is going to end by 4th March. If you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python Masterclass, Python Programming Masterclass. Alright. So any more doubts? Any more doubts? So whatever, internship is a paid one. Pip isn't working. So whatever errors you are getting, so you can send me the screenshots. Let me see what are all the different errors you are getting. Internship is a paid one, Kalyan. Any more doubts? Any more doubts? Yeah, I am going to teach for that as well. Any more doubts? Yes, internship is a paid one. If you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can, I'll go a bit slow. So if you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python Programming Masterclass. So PYMC, this is the coupon code. So once you register for the internship, so you will be getting access to the PPTs, the recorded notes, the lecture notes. So how the projects are being developed. Alright. Any more doubts? Everything is clear. Yes, I'll go. Any more doubts? Semantic errors. Say for example, what do you mean by semantic errors? I am developing some bigger applications. So what do you mean by semantic errors? What do you mean by semantic errors? For example, I am writing a for loop. Say for example, so for I am writing some code inside for loop. So I am writing some print statement. I am developing some bigger applications. Say for example, I am giving print of A. So if I am going to change, I am writing some bigger applications. If I am going to change the order of my code, so instead of this, first I have to initialize and then I have to go for a loop. So if I am missing some order, if I am going to change some order, I may get some errors. For example, I am going some if statement. First I am initializing A equal to 1. I am checking for A value and then I am going to print something. So if I am going to change the order, say for example, if I am checking for A value, then I am going to initialize, I may get some errors, semantic errors. So I have to follow the proper order of my code. So whatever is the code I am developing, so I have to follow the proper semantics. Clear? Any more doubts? Object code machine readable form. So whatever is the source code I am having, so it is going to be converted to the machine readable form. Two kinds of, actually my chat box is rolling a bit fast. Two kinds of programming processes, compiler and interpreter. Any more doubts? Class internship is a paid one. Any more doubts? Any more doubts? So the cost of the internship. So once you register, you will be getting more details. So if you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python programming masterclass. So PYMC, this is the coupon code. So once you register for the internship, so you will be getting access to the IPYNB files, the lecture notes, the PPTs. So you will be gaining more practical knowledge. Alright. Any more doubts? My chat box is rolling a bit fast. Any more doubts? So remaining things we will see tomorrow. Everything is clear? Yeah, I'll go a bit slow. Any more doubts? So remaining things, any more doubts? Everything is clear. So if you are, if you have any doubts, you can just send my doubts to this mail ID. Any more doubts? Everything is clear, whatever I have explained today. So tomorrow we will continue with the remaining things. Everything is clear. Yeah, I'll go a bit slow. Any more doubts? Object code is machine readable form. So whatever I am typing, we have to convert the source code to machine readable form and it is going to be processed by the machines. Everything is clear? So if you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python programming masterclass. So PYMC, this is the coupon code. So once you register for the internship, you will be getting access to the IPYNB files, the lecture notes, the PPTs, the recordings. Alright. So please hurry up. The internship offer is going to end by 4th March. So everything is clear. So whatever topics, I just started with the basics of Python. I just explained the different topics in Python. Everything is clear. So any doubts? Yes, if I change some ordering, the order in the line of codes, I am going to get the semantic errors. Everything is clear. Intermediate line of code. So for example, I'm having an entire program. So if it's going to execute line by line, so I'm saying some intermediate codes. Yeah, I'll go a bit slow. Any more doubts? Everything is clear. So if you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python Programming Masterclass. PYMC, this is the coupon code. So once you register for the internship, you will be getting access to the IPYNP files, the lecture notes, the PPTs, the recordings. So please hurry up. The internship offer is going to end soon. It is going to end by 4th March. Syntax errors. For example, I am going for a for loop. Say for example, this is the for loop. So what is the syntax error? Say for example, this is the for loop. So I am going to get some syntax error. For int I equal to 1. I less than or equal to 10. I plus plus. So if I am going to give some improper syntax, I am going to get a syntax error. I have to follow the proper syntax. Any more doubts? Runtime error. For example, I am dividing a number by 0 or some other things. So logically, that is compiling, syntactically it is correct, but logically it is wrong. Then I am going to get a runtime error. Clear? Uses of Python, as I was telling you, right? The syntax is simpler, and for complex data processing task, I can go for this Python language. Clear? What is the use of Python? Yeah, you can save this video. Syntax is rules of the language. So if I am going for a decision making statement or if I am going for a for loop, so I have to check the proper syntax. Semantics is correct ordering. So in which order I have to execute the instructions in order to get the relevant output. Everything is clear? Any more doubts? So whatever topics I have discussed, everything is clear? So if you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register. Python 2, as I was telling you, right? So Python 2 contains some essential libraries which Python 3 doesn't have. Clear? So low level language, assembly code. Difference in the type of syntax and instructions given, you can go for an, that is, high level language or a low level language. Debugging. So if I am going to get some errors, say for example when I am developing some code, syntax errors or semantics, or I have to go for runtime errors. Say for example I have to check for proper syntax. So for example I am going for a for loop or I am going for a decision making statement. So I have to check for the proper syntax. Otherwise I will be getting a syntax error. For example, this is the syntax, I have to follow the syntax. And semantic errors, if I am going to change the order in the lines of code. For example, first I have to initialize and then I have to go for a decision making statement. If instead I am going for a decision making statement and then I am going to initialize, I am going to get some semantic errors. And runtime errors. So if I am going to divide by 0 exception, for example a number is divided by 0, I am going to get a runtime error. High level language, so similar to English language, Python, so high level languages, it is called as a high level language. Compiler, as I was telling you, right, it is going to compile my program. It needs to check for the proper syntax. So after developing any code, so it needs to check for proper syntax, and then it is going to be processed by the machines. That is the role of a compiler. So as I was telling you, right, what are the different units that are present, what are the different types of programming languages, and what are all the different units. So it is going to check for errors. So it needs to execute the entire program, and it is going to check for errors. Core Python, the basics of Python, advanced Python, so you'll be dealing with some other concepts. Say for example, the class objects, so SQL, so how to integrate this with SQL, so all these things you'll be seeing. Any more doubts? PyCharm I am not using, I am using Jupyter Notebook. Everything is clear? Software name is Anaconda Navigator. Syntax error, Shruti, so I need to follow the proper syntax. I need to check that is, if I am going for a looping statement or decision making statement, I need to check for the proper syntax. Semantic errors, I need to follow the proper ordering of my instructions. Otherwise, I am going to get a semantic error. Software name is Anaconda Navigator. My mail ID I have given you, right? My mail ID, this is my mail ID. Chennai.java @pantechmail.com. So this is my mail ID. Everything is clear? So indentation error. So I have to give the proper indentation. So if I am going for a decision making statement, so I have to give some proper indents. Clear? Any more doubts? So if you are interested, you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python internship program. Alright. So PYMC, this is the coupon code. Software name is Anaconda Navigator. Yes, I am going to teach. Yes, you can go for Python idle as well. If you are interested, so if you want the lecture notes, the PPTs, the recordings, the IPYNB files, so you can go to pantechelearning and you can register for Python Programming Masterclass. PYMC, this is the coupon code. So once you register for the internship, so you will be getting access to the IPYNB files, the lecture notes, the PPTs, the recordings, so how the projects are being developed. Alright. Compiler and interpreter, as I was telling you, right, what is the difference between a compiler and an interpreter? So a compiler, it is going to compile the entire code and we are going to get the entire results. So an interpreter, it is going to take each and every line of code and we are or instruction at a time. That is the main difference between a compiler and an interpreter. Program, tomorrow when I am discussing, I will start with programs. Yes, I am starting from the basics. Whatever Python, I am starting from the basics and I will cover all the libraries, and finally we will be discussing with you about projects. Mail ID I have shared already. Chennai.java I have shared already. Duration of the class for 30 days. You will have this class for 45 minutes. Internship, you will be gaining more practical knowledge. mail ID I have given. This is my mail ID. All right. All right then. No more doubts. Remaining things we will see tomorrow. Same time, same link. Thank you all.